I think so. Like, I think the individual skill difference shows more on top than on mid.
Hello JNX, congratulations on the win today.
Thank you.
How do you feel after the game?
Really good. To be fair, after the game yesterday against Casey, I was like very hyped because it was such a long game, and today it was more like we knew we were gonna win, and we showed up today and we showed that we will win. So it was like more of an expected win, but of course I'm still very happy, and the crowd is really nice, so it's always fun to play in front of such a nice crowd.
Yesterday you won against Casey that were first place. Today was kind of a stomp, but I feel like you had a slower start with BDS Academy. Is that the case, and why?
So we were 3-3 before going into this week, right? So which was like middle of the pack, but we all never thought that we are a middle of the pack team. I just feel like we had some unfortunate official games because, honestly speaking, from scrims we're like stomping everyone. We should be like 6-0, 8-0?
Yeah,
8-0. We should be 8-0 by now. But it's of course always from scrims to officials always a bit different, especially when we are winning so many scrims. It sometimes can give us fake data on certain things and give us too much confidence, and then maybe we play a draft that's like very difficult to execute and we end up losing that game. I feel like that happened already in 2 of our losses where we played like a draft that was harder to execute. But I do believe it's part of the progress, and I rather be like 9-9, make it to playoffs and be the best team possible, rather than being 18-0 and then getting surprised in the best of 5 and losing. So I'm still very happy with the progress we are making.
This is your first time playing in LFL, even though you played in LEC. Was it a big factor when choosing to play for BDS Academy, and are you happy to be here in LFL?
Yeah, so like playing in the LFL for me was really important. Like it was either I play LEC, or if I don't, then I want to play LFL, because in Prime League I still had a good time when I was in SK Prime in the Prime League. But I felt like in order to prove myself worthy of LEC again, I need to show up in the LFL, because it's generally considered as a stronger region, and also from playing 8 games here I can tell it is a stronger league than the Prime League for sure. So that was for me like a very important factor, and it's just fun to have a lot of competition. Like in the Prime League it's like you have like the top 3 teams, top 4 teams maybe, who are good, and then the bottom teams they can't compete. But here in LFL I feel like everyone can compete, so every game has like excitement in it, and I think that's really great.
You played for 5 years for SK Gaming, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Does it feel refreshing to play for a new organization in a new league? Does it help with motivation? What do you think about that?
Yeah, for sure. Like that was also a point for me, that I didn't wanna again play in SK, even though SK is a great org, right? Otherwise I wouldn't stay there for 5 years. So no hate or any bad blood to them. Only good things for them. But still, I just wanted a change of atmosphere, because I felt like I needed as a player as well to go the extra step again, because since I already did this extra step once to make it into LEC, and in order to do it again, I feel like I needed a change of environment, different league, different players. Even though I'm playing with like 2 of my friends, Kidri and Rika again, it's still a very different thing when after the game, like there's like managers and coaches and just staff people from the team that I don't know being excited about me winning or me playing good, or me also seeing them upset with playing maybe after we had a 0-2 week. It like gives a different level of motivation when I don't know these people that well, you know, because yeah, and then in SK it was like, after you being there for so long, it's kind of like, if I would have a bad week, it's like, okay, we know he has a bad week, it's fine. And then it gives a different level of like stress when you're like playing under a new org.
So as you said, you are playing with former teammates here, even a former head coach. Do you feel like this is an advantage you have compared to other teams?
Yeah, for sure. It's like a very big advantage, I would say, because I feel like trusting your teammates is one of the most important things, and there's already like a great bond of trust in our team even before we started one single game together. So I think that's a big advantage, and it's also like knowing how you want to play the game, because I feel like the most difficult part when you are new in a team is, especially with very experienced players like we have in our team, is like there's different ways to play the game, and you need to align on one. And with Kidui, I'm playing for so long already now, and I know him for so long. Like, I'm very aligned with how we want to play. We see the game very similarly, so it's just easier to click as a team. So I would say we started from like a very good base level already, and that's also probably showing in our scrim results, right?
You also have a newer player in the team, Brieuc, and my source has told me that you rate him pretty highly. Could you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so basically in my career I met a lot of young players. Like in LEC we went through a lot of rookies, and with Powers, he's like, I think he's 20, maybe he's 21, I'm actually not sure. And he was like random, to be completely fair. Like 2 years ago, he was like on no one knew basically who he was. He was playing TCL Academy, and then he played, I think, 1 year or one split in TCL, and then another year where he won everything, like with Istanbul Whitecats. And even when he was there, it was like his first time being good, and that can be like, maybe he played with 2 Koreans, that's why he's really good, you know, like you still cannot take a judgment from a player being good for 1 year. But from the first scrims, I was like very impressed with his knowledge about the game, and also his capability of communication. He's like, normally rookies get like really excited in game and then get like very stressed, but I feel like he is actually the calmest one in the team. And also out of game, he like puts the team together, and he like, his communication for being so young is really crazy. I've never seen that before. I think he's like a very, very big talent.
If you don't mind, I would like to look back at your time on SK Gaming. During that time, you had a role swap while you played in LEC. Could you tell me more about this decision back then, why you took it, and if you are happy today to be a Toplaner?
Yeah, so actually I will start with the last thing.
Okay.
I'm very happy being a Toplaner. I enjoy this role a lot, and it's like a lot of fun to play on stage and in competitive, because I feel like you can really show your skill instead of playing Corki Asia every game.
More than in mid game?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Like, I think the individual skill difference shows more on top than on mid. I think mid is a bit more neutralizing the way it works, because top, you're usually left alone as well, you know. So if you are getting stomped, then you're getting stomped. There's no one that's gonna come and help you. But yeah, basically when I joined the LEC, I was a mid laner, and in my very first splits, I played 7 games, and I played Corki, Aatrox, Akali, Kiana, champions like this, like not like mages.
I remember you played a lot of Aatrox.
Yes, yes, and I was very good in those games. To be fair, if I look back at them, it was maybe performance-wise my most pop-off games I had in the whole time in LEC. And then I was like really excited to watch Worlds. Like, we almost made it into playoffs from being a 10th place team. It was like really close, but we didn't make it. And then Worlds was coming, and it was the Worlds where Donby won, and he was playing like Nautilus, Malphite, Kled. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be the next Faker now, because this is my style as a mid laner, right? This was exactly what I was playing, and I was so happy to see it succeed. And then they created Lost Chapter, and then mid lane was very different, because mages were suddenly like very 10 times better. Like, you couldn't play, if you play Nautilus, once Lost Chapter is purchased, you don't get Prior anymore, there's no point playing Nautilus. So the way mid lane changed was like bad for my playstyle. Champion-wise, like I had to play champions that I'm not so comfortable on, where I'm not playing my own style. So it was like difficult for me to learn. And also the way communication works on mid is that mid jungle support is always like a core, and you have to work really well together in order to make the game going, right? And for me, when I played and I had like Selfmade is the type of jungler that tells you, come to me, do this with me. Can you get Prior now? Okay, come. And it's like really easy to plug and play with him. And afterwards I played with Trick, who also is a really great player. But with Trick it was different, because in G2, like, Perks was the one demanding resources, being like, yo, I have Prior now, can we go invade here? But this was like very new to me, to bring my teammates around me and make the play, instead of being the one that gets involved into the play. Like, I'm like better at when I'm being involved by my team, rather than involving my own team into my place.
Okay.
And and the communication profile of a top laner is that you're in the first 10 minutes, you're full muted, you only say, okay, I have TP advantage, I don't have TP advantage, stuff like this, or maybe I solo kill, something like this. This is the only thing you say. Everything else is really useless. So on top lane, you play more your own game, and that was always I was like really good at as a mid laner, like playing my own game when I was playing flanking champions, stuff like this. But when I was playing Syndra Asia, I would always be a bit lost because I feel like my team needs to drag me around and then I'm not good anymore. So the communication profile of a mid laner didn't suit me as well, and that's only something that gets punished in LEC level. Like before LEC level, this was never a problem because the game is like played more simple. But on LEC level, the mid lane role is very crucial in terms of communication, and I was not so good at providing that, or like I was uncomfortable providing that. So I just found it naturally because also the champions from mid went to top. Aatrox, Urgot, even Akali, like those champions all became top laners. It was just natural for me to decide, okay, if I want to reach my peak as a player, I need to be a top laner because it just feels more naturally for me to play.
Okay, really interesting. Well, thank you so much for answering those questions. It was a pleasure to listen to you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
The remainder of the LFL split.
Thank you very much.
You masters after that.
Yeah, very important.